Everybody wants to be a Sigma male these days. It's almost become a badge of honor, something men claim without really understanding what it means. But here's the truth. Most guys who think they're Sigma, they're not. Because being a Sigma isn't just about being quiet, independent, or not caring what others think. It goes way deeper than that. It's a mindset, a way of life, and most importantly, a series of actions that separate true Sigmas from the rest of the world. And the brutal reality? A lot of men are doing things every single day that instantly prove they're not Sigma. They think they're lone wolves, but in reality, they're just socially awkward. They claim they're independent, but deep down they crave validation. They act mysterious, but it's really just insecurity in disguise. Sigma males don't just opt out of the social hierarchy. They rise above it. They don't just reject society's expectations. They master themselves so completely that the outside world can't touch them. So before you go around calling yourself a Sigma, ask yourself, are you actually living like one? Because today we're breaking down 5 actions that instantly prove you're not a Sigma male. And if you're making these mistakes, don't worry. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to change. Let's get into it. Reason 1. You crave validation from others. One of the biggest red flags that someone isn't a Sigma male, they constantly seek validation from others. Sigmas don't live for attention. They don't need applause, likes, or social approval to feel secure in themselves. But the average guy, he's trapped in a cycle of external validation. Think about it. How many men are out here dressing, speaking, and acting a certain way just to get people to like them? They measure their self-worth by how many followers they have, how many women find them attractive, or how well they fit into the group. A Sigma male? He couldn't care less. He doesn't post on social media to show off. He doesn't shape his personality around what's trending. And he definitely doesn't beg for attention from women. The moment you start living for other people's approval, you've lost control. Now let's be real. Everyone enjoys some level of recognition, even Sigmas. The difference is that a Sigma's confidence doesn't come from it. He doesn't need people to clap for him, agree with him, or validate his decisions. And that's exactly why he stands out. The irony is, the more a man seeks validation, the less respect he gets. Women notice when a guy's trying too hard. They can sense when he's desperate for attention. And nothing is more unattractive than a man who needs other people's opinions to feel secure. So ask yourself, do you change your opinions just to fit in? Do you feel anxious when people don't notice or acknowledge you? Do you constantly seek approval from friends, family, or strangers online? If the answer is yes, then you're not moving like a Sigma, because a Sigma's power comes from within. He validates himself, and because of that, he becomes the man everyone else wants to validate. But here's the real question. Can you walk away from the need to be noticed? That's the real test. Reason 2. You can't handle being alone. Every guy says they're independent these days. But let's be honest, most men can't handle being alone. They say they enjoy solitude, but after just a few hours with no distractions, they're restless. They start scrolling endlessly, looking for someone to text or trying to fill the silence with noise. A real Sigma? He thrives in his own company. And that's the difference. Solitude isn't something he tolerates. It's something he actively seeks. Because when he's alone, that's when he thinks, strategizes, and sharpens himself. Most guys, though, they use other people as a crutch. They need constant stimulation, whether it's through social media, texting random people, or forcing themselves into social situations just to avoid being alone. This is where the fake Sigmas expose themselves. They claim they don't need anyone, yet they panic the second they have to sit with their own thoughts. True solitude isn't about being physically alone. It's about being mentally self-sufficient. A Sigma doesn't need constant external input. He's his own source of entertainment, discipline, and motivation. And because of that, he moves differently. Reason 3. You let your emotions control you. If you're someone who reacts emotionally to everything, you're not a Sigma male. Period. Sigma males don't let their emotions dictate their actions. They feel everything, just like anyone else. But they don't let their feelings take the wheel, and that's what separates them from most men. The average guy gets triggered easily. He lets his anger, frustration, or insecurity dictate his decisions. If someone insults him, he immediately fires back. If a woman rejects him, he lashes out or sulks. If life gets difficult, he crumbles under pressure. A Sigma, he keeps his emotions on a leash. It's not that he doesn't feel things. He just refuses to be controlled by them. If someone disrespects him, he doesn't waste his breath arguing. He simply walks away. If a woman tries to manipulate him, he doesn't fall into the trap. He sees through it and stays detached. If life throws obstacles at him, he doesn't complain, he adapts and overcomes. This level of emotional discipline is what makes Sigmas unpredictable. The world expects men to react impulsively, to be emotionally needy, to get rattled when things don't go their way. But a Sigma, he doesn't give people that power. Instead of reacting, he observes. Instead of getting emotional, he strategizes. Instead of letting anger or sadness control him, he channels it into something useful. This is why Sigmas are so dangerous in the social hierarchy. You can't manipulate a man who isn't emotionally fragile. Women notice this instantly. They test him, push him, try to get a reaction, but the Sigma doesn't flinch. And that drives them crazy. Ask yourself, do you get easily offended or defensive? Do you react impulsively to negativity? Do you let your emotions make decisions for you? If so, you've got work to do, because until you master your emotions, you'll never be in control. Reason 4, you follow trends instead of your own path. Here's a cold truth. If you're always following trends, you're not a Sigma male. The world today is built on trends. New slang, new styles, new opinions. Most people just go along with whatever's popular at the moment. They dress the way influencers tell them to dress. They think what social media tells them to think. They live according to whatever gets them the most approval. Sigma males, they do the complete opposite. They're not out here chasing the latest trend, whether it's fashion, politics, or social dynamics. They don't let the world tell them who to be or how to act. They create their own style, their own philosophy, and their own way of moving through life. A Sigma doesn't care if everyone else is obsessed with something. He asks himself, do I actually believe in this? Does this align with my values? Or am I just following the herd? Most men never ask these questions, and that's why they remain followers instead of leaders. Take a look at history. The men who changed the world were never followers. They didn't blend in. They didn't ride the trends. They stood alone, thought for themselves, and refused to be controlled. A Sigma understands that popularity means nothing. One day people praise you, the next day they move on to something new. Chasing trends is like chasing smoke. It gives you nothing in the end. Real power comes from being your own man, from thinking for yourself, dressing for yourself, and living life on your terms, no matter what's popular. Reason 5, you fear walking away. If you struggle to walk away from toxic people, bad situations, or even your old self, then you're not a Sigma male. Sigmas have one of the rarest abilities in the world. They know when to leave. They don't beg, they don't argue, they don't try to force things that don't serve them. When something isn't right, they simply disappear. Most men, though, they cling to things that are bad for them. They stay in relationships that drain them. They keep friends who don't respect them. They tolerate disrespect from people who don't deserve their time. Why? Because they fear starting over. A Sigma never has this problem. He understands that attachment is weakness, that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is walk away and never look back. He doesn't stay in situations just because he's comfortable. He doesn't hold on to people out of fear. If something isn't serving his growth, he cuts it off. No hesitation. And that's exactly what makes him different. Women notice this instantly. They can tell when a man has options, when he's not afraid to leave. It's what makes Sigma males so attractive, because they never operate from desperation. A Sigma always has the mentality that he'll be fine, no matter what happens. Most men can't say yes to these questions, and that's why most men will never be Sigma. Because to be a Sigma, you have to be willing to let go of anything and anyone, without a second thought. Being a Sigma male isn't something you choose. It's not a label you put on yourself because it sounds cool. It's a way of life. A Sigma isn't concerned with fitting in. He's not looking for approval. He doesn't need validation from women, society, or anyone else. He just is. And that's what makes him different. If you listened carefully to everything we just talked about, you might have realized something. Most men will never be Sigma. Sigma males don't have that fear. They trust themselves. They follow their own code. And that's exactly why the world either envies them or tries to destroy them. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so we can keep bringing you content that challenges the norm. Drop a comment below. Do you think Sigma males are misunderstood, or do they just see the world differently? Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.